everyone, welcome to my channel. So last video you would have seen my journey from Chennai to Toronto, and today, as I already mentioned, I would like to share my PR story, how I received PR and how the whole process was. So let's get started. So my PR story started in the year 2019. In the year 2019, I realized I wanted to move abroad, and it would help me in my career and a lot of aspirations. And first and foremost, I cleared my IELTS, and also I completed the ECS evaluation of my education from an organization called West. From that report, I received an equal credibility of bachelor's and master's, which I was able to get points for my master's as well. So after completing these two steps, I built a profile in the IRCC website. So usually you have to build your own profile. For example, if you are a principal applicant, you have to create your own profile, and if you are going along with your spouse or anybody who is dependent on you, then you will have to add their name. I completed the profile, and after I completed the profile, I forgot about it actually. And within few rounds of draws, so that in Canadian immigration, they basically have a lot of express entry draws. So if your points, whatever that you have received based on your profile, if your points are above the score that they provide in their draws, you will get an invitation to apply. So once you get an invitation to apply, you can complete the whole documentation process, submit your documents online, and so that's the whole journey of how the PR starts. So for me, after I complete my profile and submitted my profile, I received an invitation of application, which is because my score was above the score for a particular draw. So I did receive the first ITA from IRCC, and as soon as I received, I had to do several documentation. For example, I have to give proof of fund documentation, which is essentially showing that you have enough funds to back yourself when you land in Canada without a job. So basically they need proof that you can back yourself, and there is a table that they show. For example, if you are the only traveler, you have an amount of funds that needs to be there in your bank account, and if their family member is two, then it depends on, it changes. So I prepared on my proof of funds. I prepared documents or from work experience. So basically, if you should be eligible, you can only be eligible for PR if you have around at least 3 years of experience. So I did have three and more years of experience. So I approached all my previous employers, organizations, to provide reference letters showing that I have the relevant skill sets and experience. And I must say, all my previous organization did provide me based on the profile that I need, based on the format that I needed. So once I got that, however, my organization that I was currently working for did not provide a standard format, because they can only provide a standard format of reference letters for past employees. So in that case, I approached my senior colleagues. They gave me a proof of letter saying that this person has certain skills which backs their experience. So I did get notarized. So those were the things that I developed. Documentation work was all developed and submitted. Third was the medical test. You need to complete your medical checkup, and also your PCC. PCC is police verification. For example, if you have only traveled in or worked in India, you have to only give PCC from India. And if in case you have traveled abroad and worked for more than, or stayed for more than 6 months, you are liable to give a PCC from that country as well. So I've been in US for 2.5 years, so I had to give my PCC from US, which was from FBI. So I completed that process as well. So once you get all those documents, you need to complete your whole ITA, that is a segment of profile. You have to submit everything in an online format. So The first time I received ITA, I completed my submission process. I paid the fees that needs to be paid, and I thought, okay, that's it. And I never checked my email box. So after a month or so, I received another mail saying that my application got declined. So that was a moment of regret and rejection, everything. So I didn't know what was happening, but then later on when I deep dived, I saw that I missed reading an email from the IRCC saying that I had to pay the fees, and they gave me an around 1 month of time, due time, and I did not look into that at all. I missed that email, and I passed the deadline. And then they were like, since this is an incomplete application, they are bound to decline this application. So my first and foremost ITA was declined, and I was kind of totally dejected. I felt there was no reason for me to even uh, try immigration process, and it caused a lot of problems at home as well. So after that all happened, I did not leave my journey of trying for Canada PR. So since my profile was already submitted, after a few months, for example 2 or 3 4 months, I received a notification of interest from the human capital draw. So this is basically for the tech people. They basically conduct draws for tech people, for certain people who are within the tech careers. So I did receive the notification of interest email, and they said that this is a PNP program. So for the Ontario region, I can apply, and but this is basically, since it's a PNP program, not an direct ITA, I'll have to pay an additional fees. And once that is acknowledged or approved by the Ontario government, I will get an additional 800 points, and along with my CRS score, I can be sure that next time I'll definitely get an ITA. So that's the another route of getting a PR. So I thought, why not try this, because I already missed the first time that I received ITA. So I tried. I submitted my all the applications that needed. Although the documents were the same, there were certain slight changes. Some additional documents I had to provide for this route. So I completed that and I submitted the NOI. So it would take around a month or so to get it approved. So as I was waiting, and I had this was in the year 2019, so 2019 2020, when COVID did not hit much. So and my CRS score was good enough. So as I submitted my NOI profile and documents, I was waiting through the whole thing to be approved. And over the next few months, I received another ITA. So this was the third time I received an ITA. The second time I received an ITA. So once I received an ITA, I thought, why not withdraw the profile from the PNP program and go forward with another ITA. So that's when I started my process with attention to detail, because now that I realized it is important to be aware of what emails come up and regularly check your profile, which I did not do the first time. So I applied again, renewed all the documents. So I had to renew all the documents. For example, I had to get another proof of fund document. I had to get another PCC pro police verification document, and also an updated document from my colleague, which was the company that I was working. For the rest of the two companies, I did not have to get a renewed document, because the period was already over. So it was the past employer, right? So nothing is going to change. So I just kept the same. And once I submitted the application, it took a very long time to bring in lot of changes. For example, after I submitted my profile, which was in the year 2021 February, I immediately got the health checkup done. My medical test was passed. That was fast. And the second thing was, they immediately sent out for a biometric check. So once I did that, that was also passed. So the validity for it is like 10 years. So that was also done. After that, that's when a lot of things happened. COVID hit, and Canada stopped the immigration process, express entry draws. They also had lot of backlogs in a very confusion state during that time, because I was not sure whether I had to wait for this program or try for any other European countries. As I was going through my life, in between I was talking with the community, with canadavisa.com, and I used to get information from them. People there have helped me a lot in preparing documents. So there were a lot of things discussed in that platform. So I did communicate with a lot of people there and to be aware of what needs to be done. So one person from that platform told to all of other people who were applying, they told that once you do you have to redo your health checkup, because the validity of your health checkup is just 1 year. So if you don't do that, they will never pick up your files. So once I realized that I'm going to hit my expiry of my health checkup, I did my health checkup again, and in the month of December 2022, and it got passed immediately. So that's when I realized, okay, they're working on my file. And after it got passed, in next few months I received a request, an email from IRCC saying that I have to update my police verification documents, which is from India as well as from US. So I was given time, deadline of 30 days, 30 business days to complete that. So I completed doing that, and I submitted those documents. But after I submitted all my PCC files from India and US, after few months, I received PPR. PPR is nothing but passport process. So they basically ask your process, ask to submit your passport to get it stamped, and issue your co-PR along with your passport. So that's when I thought, okay, now my file is getting completed. So I submitted my passport with necessary documents that they asked. And after a month of submitting my passport request, I received an email saying that you have to go to the nearest visa center and collect your passport along with the co-PR. So that was my complete story. So this whole PR story of mine, it took around 28 months of waiting and daunting task. Some of the moments that I learned from my PR journey is to always be vigilant. The first, always be vigilant in terms of your immigration process. So you have to be vigilant on whether there is any upcoming updates with respect to your application. And because the first time I did not do that, and obviously that led to a decline for my application. So the first lesson that I learned is to always be vigilant, check on your profile daily. In fact, my family members also reminded me to check my profile daily basis. And so that's the first lesson. The second lesson that I learned is, as I said, I was communicating a lot in a platform, and I did notice that people who have applied through agencies they were kind of finding a lot of issues, because when you apply through an agency, your agency has the complete ownership on your application. You don't have the ownership of viewing your application. Lot of things are there in terms of when your agency is doing the whole process. So sometimes the agents handling your applications are kind of making some mistakes, that which eventually is getting their application rejected. So what I learned is to never rely on a third party to do your immigration applications, because nobody will take care of your application as serious as you are going to do it, right? So it's important that you do your own application, complete the whole process by yourself. There are people around, you can ask help or doubts when needed. So that's the second lesson I learned, to complete the whole process by yourself. The third lesson that I learned from my immigration story is that I had a notion that immigration can only be done by a person who already is knowledgeable, Although that is true, you need people around you who can educate you in moments of you not knowing certain things. But although it can be a daunting task thinking that you have to do by yourself, but I realized that you can do it by yourself. The whole journey that I went through, I was doing it by myself. Although I was doing it by myself, I had certain family members helping me throughout the process, educating me on if my documents are correctly written. And I did get help from the platform that I used, which is called the canadavisa.com. So they a lot of members helped me, but end person that who was handling the document was myself. So that's the first and foremost thing that I learned is you can work on your own application. You don't have to feel that it's not doable. So that's the third lesson that I learned. Another final lesson that I learned is when I was communicating with several people on how to on based on their scores. Although I was lucky enough to have my scores as per the draw, and but there were people like literally learning certain languages to improve their score. For example, if when people do get good IELTS and they are not able to improve their score, I've seen people learning French from scratch. And learning a third language, a foreign language from scratch when you are old enough is really very tough and daunting experience. So I did see a lot of people applying for learning from scratch, looking into free YouTube videos. So I realized that how much there are a lot of people putting a lot of effort. So if you feel that you are the only one putting this much of effort, I that's wrong. That's completely wrong. There are a lot of people still looking working across in order to improve their CRS score and come and land to a different country for their aspirations. The thing that I learned is like I learned from other people seeing their journey is to keep their spirits high, being hopeful and kind of doing certain things that later on can land them an opportunity to a different country. So these were the lessons that I learned through my PR. And if you ask me this whole journey was worth or not, I don't have an answer for it yet because it's just a month I came to a different country. So however, I will be in a situation to answer that later. So let me know how this my PR story was and if it was helpful. Let me know if you need any videos related to Canadian PR. So yeah, that's all for this video.